I was challenged by Jedi Does Jiu-Jitsu to take on 2 different black belts in the last stop of my Texas gym tour. Jedi went to Val BJJ last year where he took on both the coaches and he had no luck. It was up to me to try and redeem him and tap both of them out if I wanted to accept and complete his challenge. This would be no easy accomplishment as both of them were high-level coaches and longtime black belts, and they even tested me to my limits by attacking me at my weakest point, footlocks. I took on every competitor they had to throw at me, so let's see how I did. We start off round 1 with a young and muscular whippersnapper who wants to try and work past my guard. But I get a hold of his arm and I'm hanging onto it like a power slap combatant holding onto his last brain cell. I used my functioning brain to transition to his leg, and then he conceded the top position as he was working on a shoulder lock. But to keep myself safe, I used my girlfriend's starfish technique where I do nothing and I let him do all the work. His way of playing is to go for the dark arts and use a heel hook against me, so I show my own black magic as I latch onto a guillotine and I throw him over as he tries to pass my guard to put him into the cow catcher. I'd love to say that I did something fancy, but we have all seen that I do this technique all the time. You just need to pull on their neck and push down with your chest and it's a pretty easy finish. The second part of the round starts out pretty similar because he's working on top and I'm going to grab a hold over his arm, create a base so I can work up and grab his leg, then I just have to push him over and I take top position. As I'm going about my day counting how many ceiling tiles are in this gym, he becomes the bearer of bad news as he starts attacking my leg. I need to prevent him from separating my legs because the moment he does that, he's going to create heel exposure. I keep my hips and cheeks as tight as possible as if I'm smuggling something into a prison, then I break out the prison rules as I show him what a wrist lock looks like so I can stop him from attacking my feet. I heard a few cracks from his wrist as if I was eating lettuce, so I let go of the attack so I wouldn't have any serious injuries, and I went back to defending my feet the correct way. This meant building a base, and instead of going forward once he tried to roll again, I pushed off of him and created enough distance that I was able to free my legs, but I definitely should have tried for dope mount. Then of course, as I re-entered his guard, I created the same mistake as I did before and I allowed him to get that inside reap. Now I was able to maintain this base for a while, but he eventually rolled me over and again I had to defend the footlock, and I whipped out every white belt's wet dream as I hit him with another wrist lock, but this time it was far more effective because he had to lose the position and he let me come back on top. Then I took off the training weights, hit a guillotine pass, pushed him into mount, and drove my hips forward to get the tap, and I ended the round in fashion. Now I'm supposed to be here taking on their black belts, and that's exactly what I did in round 2 as I took on the gym owner. The round starts and we're both moving at a leisurely pace. When I whip out the camera, I never know if people want to rip my head off, or if they just want to move around the flow and try and get better at the technique. And Ryan was showing off a cool demeanor for now, but you never know what people have up their sleeve. He started off trying to pass my guard by testing my rib flexibility and throwing me into a cradle. However, I'm not flat on my back, so this means that I can use my left knee to create some distance against his hip, and once I have enough space, I can swim my left arm out and I'm safe from his attack. It starts off pretty tame where he's pushing into my guard, I'm sitting back up not letting him pass, and I keep going to reverse Delahiva or more neutral positions, and then once I felt like I had a good attack going, I made an interesting choice. You see, like most people on YouTube who scroll through my videos, I didn't actually end up watching Jedi's whole video. So I had an idea worse than going to Taco Bell with a non-functioning bathroom. I was looking for an ankle guillotine, but I had to bail once I lost the knee line. However, as I came back up, he used this as an opportunity to scoop up my leg, and now is in a world of pain. You see, I absolutely suck at defending against leg locks, and this is going to be no exception. He doesn't have his grip over my foot yet, but for some reason I'm grip fighting. And to make it worse, I take my extra leg, push against him so he won't be able to control my foot, then I gift him by putting it into his armpit and now he has double trouble. Had I not put in his armpit, I definitely could have escaped, but now I have to worry about a leg lace, a knee bar, a heel hook. Really, the world is his oyster, and for some reason I'm fucking around with his foot. Eventually his lock opens and I take this opportunity to start turning, but it's too late and I'm forced to tap. So good job by me really showing off that college degree in mathematics as I used no logic at all in this decision making. And if you thought that was bad, let's see what happens next. As I'm settling on top, he decides he's going to elevate my leg and he goes right into another leg entanglement, and he snatches up a heel hook, which I spin a little bit too slow and I have to tap once again. Now trust me, I understand I completely suck at the foot game, but hopefully from watching enough of these instructionals, you won't see this type of video again. I give it one last shot so I don't walk away completely empty-handed and maybe I can pull off my own submission. He's able to scoop up my ankle by doing an interesting transition where he breaks my base and then he transitions to my arm. I pull my arm back so I'm out of his danger, but I still have to worry about my leg entering a different entanglement, and I start to sit backwards so I can avoid that trouble. As he pressures into me, I take this opportunity to try and balloon sweep him backwards, but he keeps scooting back because he sees this as an opportunity to scoop up my leg again. I'm learning from my mistakes, so I'm just going to keep a strong base against him and try and take his back, but unfortunately I run out of time as the clock ends. Ryan was a very nice guy and a very good and casual role, but unfortunately, no luck for me. Now I tried my luck in round 3 with Ivan, but this round was quite a bit different. I start the round by pulling his neck in. Now he's under my control and he tries to use the deep half sweep, so I roll over the top of the guillotine pass to get past his guard. Everything was looking fine and dandy. I was sitting on top for so long past his guard with nothing to worry about that I could probably write my entire memoir. Until it happened. While I was floating around on top, going from one position to the next, wondering what I'd be eating for dinner after training, he caught me off guard and rolled me over into 69 guard. And the way he landed, he already had a lat choke on, squeezed it a little bit, and you can tell I was really happy that I had to tap out to this one as he caught me off guard and I was being lazy. The rest of the round played out in a pretty similar fashion, except for this time I wasn't taking any chances. When I moved his top leg out of my way to pass his guard, I kept top position, but I was not allowing any space for submissions. And while my tight game was doing a nice job not letting me get caught again, unfortunately that doesn't count as winning the challenge. Round 4 came along and I had to redeem myself after losing to both the coaches. It didn't take too long for me to get a little bit of a lead on this round as I went for the back of his neck, then crawled to his back to take the top position. I finally had the opportunity to show my new diet of just fried chicken and protein, and I could crush him with all my weight as I held him down like a newborn baby. But he wasn't going to have that. He started turning out and he went to the front head, so I continuously had to follow him so he wouldn't get out of this bad position. Even though he was moving, I was able to pass his head and I still had his arm locked up from earlier, putting myself in a prime position to rip out a Kimura. He fought all the way until the end, but it proved to be futile once I could establish the Kimura grip. I sat on his face, turned his shoulder out, and I got the submission. As we started again, I used this 2-on-1 headquarters position so I had a nice leg press available. As he tried to drop his weight on me, I was able to extend my legs and turn him to the side, which allowed me to come on top super easily and was barely an inconvenience. Again, I was showing my Pillsbury Doughboy diet as I was throwing my weight around to keep him pinned to the mat. Most people prefer to fight me in the front head position, but he was rotating the opposite direction, so I traveled around his head so I could start trapping the Kimura once again. And believe it or not, he wasn't too keen on giving me the same grip, but I managed to fish my arms together, establish the same grip as before, but instead, I pull him backwards, do the legs over the body, and I hit him with an armbar. While may not have succeeded in trying to do better than Jedi did at this gym, Val BJJ is an awesome place to train. Everybody I met was super nice and they were very welcoming to anybody that wants to train there. And while I couldn't get the challenge done, maybe I'll have to double and pass it on to Jordan Teaches Jiu-Jitsu next. And if you want to get better in a different way, make sure to check out xmartial.com. Their rash guards give you extra powers where you'll be able to scramble better, guillotine more people, and you'll even improve on your wrestling. Check out their website and use promotion code Tyler10 to save extra money and pick up yourself some nice gear.